All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to the like men that scattered abroad, pushing this truth with all sincerity. And also shalom to very few sincere sisters that's taking heed and getting in order in these last days. I'm your brother Amawan, coming to the quick lesson. Lord willing is edifying and to the point, right? But here you have it, right? Nicaragua, right? Which we know, that's right, mainly the tribe of Zebulon. You know, they go to the tribe of Zebulon, right? Which is a part of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? But they're banning the Bible, right? And I also have another article, as you can see, moving around for Canada. You know, they're doing the same thing for religious speech. You know, and this makes me think of what the new world religion, right? A lot, and with that new world religion, gonna be a lot of confusion, right? A lot of things that the Bible speaks of and have us to go by will be taken out. You know, it's a clip. I can't even pull it up, but it's on my phone on how one of the men, Slovakia, I think it's in Canada, was speaking about it. I wish I could have it, but the Lord willing, if I can find it, if I can, no matter of fact, I just upload the clip to my page. It'd be like a short clip, but excuse me, he's pretty much, you know, taking points from the scriptures, like, you know, this should be taken out. This shouldn't be speaking to nobody about, you know. So pretty much, you know, this video is going to, it's high time to wake out of sleep, you know. And for you to be in Nicaragua, you can't have no Bible, and that's like saying you can't have no armor for these tribulation that's coming upon the earth, man. You know, as far as it's high time to wake out of sleep now. It's high time to get this wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding, because soon come you won't be able to have your hands onto a Bible. And you can see as Nicaragua is banning the Bible, period. You know, so soon come after they banning the Bible, they could be taking down these videos, man. You know, but here you have it. Move this out the way, son. It says Nicaragua bans entry of Bibles, books, newspapers, cameras. Right. So international transportation companies that operate routes to Nicaragua have been required to post notices warning passengers that bringing Bibles, newspapers, magazines, books of any kind, drones, and cameras into the country is prohibited. Right. And ultimately, this is how they really get to the elect, by making it, you know, for everybody. But it's really indirectly, you know. But it's positioned to us, because we're the ones that's making this, the Hebrew Israelites, right, the 12 tribes, really, the prophets, you know, GMS is declaring it, you know. And there's another cut to where that's how you know that this word is true, what we're teaching, right? Because Christianity has been thriving for a while, right, and the end hasn't come, right? But the true gospel is coming. I mean, it's like the true gospel has, you know, came out, right, the 70s, you know, and then boom, hey, a lot of things started manifesting, right? The end is coming closer than ever, you know. The famine of hearing the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah is very close. This is why we also says, hey, it's high time to wake out of sleep, which I'm gonna grab. And it's a quick, you know, I'll probably just read this passage right here and just keep going. Not trying to make this no long lesson. The measure has been enforced for more than 6 months despite the absence of any published official decree, and is enforced by immigration and customs authorities at border crossings, according to information documented and confirmed by Christian Solidarity Worldwide, a UK-based international organization that monitors violations of freedom of religion and belief. Right, and they're cracking down, right, and they're going to persecute you, man. This is what it comes down to, you know, because we know about the concentration camp, we know about the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and 10, you know, just for standing on the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, they may catch some brothers up, may catch some sisters up, right? And we know no scriptures to where we're comfort in that day. We're comfort in the belly of the beast, man. You know, it reads, the Nicaraguan government efforts to restrict The entry of Bibles, other books, newspapers, and magazines into the country are deeply concerning given the current context of repression, right? Anna Lee Stangl, Christian Solitary, worldwide director of advocacy and team leader for the Americans, said in public statement, "We urge the government of Nicaragua to lift this ban immediately and to cease its ongoing efforts to repress freedom of religion, belief, and expression in the country," she said, right? So she wants to lift it up, right? But the thing is, it's already out, right? They want to ban it, you know? They want to ban it, like I said, Canada. And ultimately, hey, you're seeing the beginning of Amos 8 and 11, you know? So I'm going to go into the Canada one and grab a couple of scriptures, and that'll be that, right? Canadian hate crimes bill could ban religious speech, right? And we have brothers in Canada, you know? And we know about the persecution is coming. We know about that. 2026 is going to be a wide open year, right? I'm talking about wide open like a 5.0 Mustang, man. You know, up under a bridge, wide open, right? But yes, it could ban religious speech, right? So we know about the times of we know freedom of speech, going to the houses and had this ministry. So like it, the water, yeah, about my shot, right? The times of going to the houses and byways is coming to an end. You know, read a couple of paragraphs and that'll be that. It says the Bill C9, the Combating Hate Act, now under consideration by Canada's House of Commons, is seen by many as an appropriate response to rise in Semitic violence, but recent amendments that strip from it a protection on religious speech are alarming some religious leaders, right? And you will get some uproar, some backlash from this, people that is not gonna be comfortable with it, right? But hey, they have a agenda that they're trying to roll out, man. You know, and the Lord warned us, Matthew 24, they're going to persecute you, right? Anti-Semitic incidents have surged in Canada since Hamas attacked Israel, right, in 2023, October 7th, right? The whole school and synagogues have been shot at and firebombed. Statistics Canada recorded 920 police reported incidents targeting the who were 25 times more likely to experience a hate crime than other Canadians, right? Several whoish advocacy groups that have urged the government to modernize its hate crimes law in response, right? This is where I was at. Bill C9 would impose stiffer penalties for promoting hate, including it a crime punishable by up to 10 years in prison to obstruct someone from accessing a place of worship or other sites such as schools or community centers where the Hus, Muslims, and other identifiable groups gather. Right, and that first part was really the part that stood out the most, because we teach the law. If a man is laying with mankind, right, he should be put to death. Right, if a man is sleeping with a beast, right, would be today like an animal, right? You have to put that beast, that animal to death, and you supposed to be put to death, man, right? But here in America, right? Here in America, you can get married to animals, you can get married to trees, same-sex marriages, just going off, but they allow that, But with this new world religion, you pretty much better do whatever it is you want, And this is coming from the elites, man. The elites is who run this whole world. Right? Let me grab some scriptures. Let me grab two of the ones I was thinking about earlier. All of them that call good evil and good. What are those? I just go to it before I start butchering it wrong. The book of Isaiah, and the head title is Woe for the Wicked. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. You know, because that's what they're trying to twist everything around. Everything that's supposed to be righteous, they trying to deem it as wicked. You know. So pretty much, hey, we're seeing them trying to close us out, right? As in preaching this truth, right? The scriptures talk about how you go to the gates of the nobles. Hey, we at their neck with it, man. You know, and they can't take they can't take it no more. That's why they're trying to come down with these, you know, these unrighteous decrees, right? Telling you it'll be 10-year punishment. They catching you with a Bible, right? We was already ahead of the game, right? We already knew we come to a time period where we won't be able to teach, man. You know, and that's really a time of, well, once that happens, right, it'd be Jacob's trouble, right? Because that really represents the time of the grace period closing. Right. Yeah. So with that being said, let me go to the book of Romans. So I quoted it. It's high time to wake out of sleep. Right. Let's read this at the NLT version. Romans 13, verse 11. This is all the more urgent, for you know how late it is. Right? Time is running out. Wake up, for your hour of salvation is nearer now than when we first believed. Right? We're seeing them get rid of the Bible, which a lot of people say they believe in. But now here you have it, these elites saying they're banning it. That's how you know something is about to go down. You know? But it said this is all more urgent for you to know how late it is, right? Man, hey, the grace period, right? Picture it as a hourglass, right? Them last little pieces of sand is falling, you know. And after that is over with, right? That's why I say it's all more urgent. Urgent to do what? Hey, put on this wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding, right? When you get on the Ephesians, and I'm gonna go to Isaiah chapter 33. Matter of fact, Ephesians 5 as well. Right? See, look, it says the armor of the Lord. Right? It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Right? We're coming to a very serious time. You know, he's ready to come down with great wrath because he know that his rulership is done. Right? But in order for you to withstand, right, you have to have the armor. You know? And as you go down, you know, it goes into it. You know, having a shield of faith. Right? 17. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. We got to have this wisdom, not truth, and understanding, man. You gotta, and that's having this wisdom, knowledge, truth, and understanding is going to help you have that full armor, to where nothing can pierce through. You know, and wound you, and you know, fuck up your walk, your faith. You know, make you fold in the hour sensation. Right, having that full armor only can't do nothing. Can't nothing pierce through. You know, let me hit that Isaiah 33:6 right quick. It's the book of Isaiah. Isaiah. If I can find this big ass tablet, can't see it down. Okay. Isaiah 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. See? Having this wisdom and knowledge is going to be your armor. That's what's going to keep you rooted. You know? Because honestly, seeing them saying they finna take away the Bible, hey, call hello Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because hey, that's we know, the scriptures talk about measuring the time. You know, if we ain't got, if we can't teach, you know, because if you banning the Bible, that means you're gonna be banning us to go out there and teach the Bible. You know, because if we out there teaching, it's prohibited. You know, and it'd be marked up to 10 years. You know, there you go, right there. but we'll be persecuted for it, right? But so yeah, so that's like kind of lost my train of thought. But I read it again, and wisdom and knowledge have been the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. See, that's the helmet, the sword, the word, right? You're gonna need that just to get through these times, right? Because once they ban it, right, best believe you won't be seeing the prophets out here real soon, and that day is numbered, right? So let me go back to the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, and then I'm gonna hit the book of Amos. Right, because like I said, it's still pertaining to it's high time to wake out of sleep. Right? Ephesians chapter 5 and 14 in the NLT. For the light makes everything visible, which is this word, which is the scriptures. This is why it is said, awake, O sleeper, right? And we're speaking to the 12 tribes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Natives, right? Referably, the 2/3, especially the 2/3 mindset. Awake, O sleeper, right? Because you're spiritually asleep, right? You don't want to see the reality of what's going on, right? They're finna come down with great rap. They're finna introduce you to this MOTB system. This RFID C-HIP. It's finna be made mandatory, and you're not even prepared. You're not even armored to tell these folks no, or what comes with telling them folks no. Awake, O sleeper, rise up from the dead. Because you're not going to make it. Hey, what is Ezekiel say? Can't these bones live? You need to be renewed in the spirit in order to fight this battle. Right? That's how the Lord going to be able to take you serious. You renewed yourself. You came to him. It says, and Hamashiach will give you light. Right? And we come out some dark times. And what's going to help you shine in these dark times? One of my favorite scriptures. Right? This word, right? Going back to Isaiah 33 and 6, right? This right here, the book of Psalms. Salakia, it's a big old tablet. Oh, I see how I go across now. Okay. It's the book of Psalms 119. And we're going to go to the 105th verse. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. See? So this Bible itself is that lamp, right? This is your protection. This is your guidance. See? And a light unto my path. You're gonna need to, like, if you have a flash, if you got a flashlight and you're trying to walk down let's say walk in the park, and it's 12 o'clock at night, you won't be able to see. But if you cut that flashlight on, now you can see where you're walking. You can discern better. You can see what steps to take. Let's go back to Ephesians chapter 5. Let's go to verse 15. So be careful how you live in the NLT. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. See? And let's read that at the KJV, because it says, see then that you walk circumspectly. You're looking around, looking at these articles. They talking about banning the Bible. You got to discern that. That's why I say it's high time to wake out of sleep. This is why it's all the more urgent. You don't have no armor, no spiritual armor, and they talking about banning what you need in order to fight in the spiritual fight that's coming. Redeeming the time. Right? Matter of fact, let's hit it at the NLT. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. What? To get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? Like it says in the book of, do I got it on? This the blue letter. Like it states in the book of Sirach, chapter 5 and 7. Salakia. This is Ecclesiastes 5 verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Right, and that's heavy. Right, by procrastinating. Right, not paying attention to the times, not hearing what the men of the Lord are telling you. Right, we those spiritual men sitting on that high towers, looking at what's going on. Hey, the intruder's getting close as hell, and you have no armor to fight, man. He's about to come straight through the goddamn gates, and you have no armor to fight, no spiritual armor to fight. Right, which will be this word. So the Lord said, "Hey, it's time to wake out of sleep. You know, it's time to turn back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You know, he said, make no tarrying. Don't procrastinate. You know, because we know that we're one black swan event away from this shit going left. You know, and like I said, that'll symbolize the doors of mercy being closed, man. Right? So let me I like using that blue letter one better. And Salakia. Alright. So this right here is the book of gotta get the book of Amos. And I'm probably close out with the book of Ezekiel. You know, because we're not out here just talking for our health, you know. We out here trying to warn the people, give them warning from me, right? A prophet can only warn for but so much, right? Amos 8 and verse 11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord." In the NLT says, "The time is surely coming." See, it's a for sure thing, right? The Lord says his words will not come back unto him void. Meaning like, yeah, you wrote it down, but it ain't never happened. Nah, these things are going to happen, man. Right? Whether you want to believe it or not. "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, the Most High, Yahweh, right through his only begotten Son, Yahushua, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord." See, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. Do you see how powerful the word is going to be in that day? To the point, man, we could just read these scripts. You can get full off that. You ain't gonna be worrying about that fool, especially when you up under heavy persecution. You know, shit done got real. You know, like I said in my last video, you got power outages in San Francisco. You know, what's gonna be able to keep you stable, man? You got troops rolling through the city with that movie. What's that movie name? With that wrestler Batista, Bushwick. You know what's gonna keep you rooted, man? This word, like the industry supposed to happen. What's gonna keep you rooted when these folks come looking for you? They start giving your name up. This word, right? That's what's gonna keep you rooted, man. You know. But it says, "But I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, no thirst for water, but hearing the words of the Lord." Right? When this shit get real, right? They're gonna be looking for us men of the Lord, man. You know, they're not gonna be caring about how much cars they got, how many clothes they got. You know. Excuse me. But the point is letting you know it's gonna be more than just a famine of a food famine. It's gonna be a famine of hearing hearing the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, the comfort, because this is the true comfort in that hard time, man. It says, "And they shall wander from sea to sea, even from the north, even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord and shall not find it," right? Because they've been looking for comfort. They're going to be like, damn, that man was speaking to me, telling me this whole time. And now everything he done told me has happened. And I can't even reach him. Right? But the Lord told us to go warn them, give them a warning from me. Ezekiel 33, excuse me, in 33, if I can get to it fast enough. Right? It reads, "And when this comes to pass," right, these prophecies, right, Family opinion, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahshua is prophecy, man. And when this comes to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them, right? You was warned, and you forsook the time period, to get right, get your armor, especially people in Nicaragua and Canada, Now it's going to be even harder for you to even come across a Bible, let alone they catch your ass on the internet looking that stuff up, That's why I said it's high time to wake out of sleep. Get it while you can, because hey, when it's gone, it's gone. When shit hit the fan, it ain't no turning around, right? So this right here is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 25. Verse 24. Then the Spirit entered into me and set me upon my feet and spake with me and said unto me, Go, shut thyself within thine house. Right? Right? And we come into a time period where hey, that's what's going to be what it is. Right? Hey, we already prepared for to hear the apostle to hard to say, hey, man, don't go out there. Shit is way too chaotic. The work has been done. Right? This man has been came down with great wrath, man. Don't take your ass outside trying to prophesy. Ain't no prophesying. It's here. Right? Because the prophesy is say it before time, right? And we don't want to be trying to talk in the middle of it. Nah. It's already manifested. It says, But thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee. Ooh, I'm read both versions. But thou, O son of man, behold, they shall put bands upon thee, and shall bind thee with them, and thou shalt not go out among them. Man, don't this remind you of the story of Job? I mean, sorry, not Job, but Noah. Right? He couldn't go out that ark even if he wanted to. He heard them folks finna go through hell, and folks trying to knock on the door. No, I know you can hear me. It's gonna be the same thing if you was to come across a man of the Lord in the time of shit hitting the fan and family of the word, man. You may be knocking at my door, but I ain't finna say nothing to you. Go handle it on your own. Right? In the NLT it reads, There, son of man, you will be tied with ropes so you cannot go out among the people. The Lord had to shut Noah in. Verse 26, And I will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for their rebellious house. See, the whole time we're trying to get you to come back to Yahweh Shem Yahshua, right? Warn you through what's to come, the terrors of the Lord. Hey, what is it? Through the terror of the Lord we persuade men, right? Through the terror of the Lord we persuade men. So this is supposed to make you fear and want to come back. He said, but hey, thou shalt be dumb. We're gonna play crazy. Well, I don't know what the MOTB is. I don't know. You tell you shit. I don't know. Help me figure it out. It says in the NLT, and I will make your tongue stick to the roof of your mouth so that you will be speechless. See, Amos 8:11. Right? And unable to rebuke them, for they are rebels, right? You don't need to try to help correct you no more, man. It's too late. Right? You didn't want to discern the times, right? These articles are going out talking about banning the Bible, and then boom, shit started hitting the fan. Then now you want somebody to help reprove you, give you correction, help you, be on the Lord's good side. It's too late. I think Justin Timberlake told you that. All right, too late to apologize. I'll start at verse 26. So yeah, that is all of that. Right? So I'm gonna close out. I'm gonna close out. Matter of fact, this the add on to what I was just saying. I'll read verse 27 in the NLT. But when I give you a message, I will loosen your tongue and let you speak. Then you will say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Those who choose to listen will listen, but those who refuse will refuse, for they are rebels. See? That's what I said. The election have obtained it and the rest were blinded. Because they really was another elect. You know, and when it was given to them, they refused it. You know, and this is us speaking through Yahweh Shem Yahshua right now. This is Yahweh Shem Yahshua speaking through us right now. He losing our lips right now in this little small season to what? Warn them. All right, but the rebellious ones are going to be the ones that's going to look for you in that day when shit hitting the fan. The wrong time, be trying to get answers. Right? So, Lord, willing, let's was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai by Shem Crocodiles. Shalom.